Spitfire's original libraries are a series packing only the essentials. They each cost only £29, so it's a great way to get a taste of the amazing palette of sounds that Spitfire have to offer without breaking the bank. The original Cinematic Percussion library is a little 1.4GB bundle of essential drum sounds. A handful of cymbals and gongs, sub-bass drops and rumbles, anvils, some higher pitched drum hits, congas and bongos etc., lower pitched toms and bass drums, and finally some drum and cymbal swells and whooshes. As you'd expect with Spitfire, these are some really high quality samples. And straight off the bat, the highlight of this library for me has got to be the dryish, close-mic'd sound of the high and low hits sections. They've got a wonderful clarity and presence to them. They're punchy, direct and powerful on those loud hits, and really intimate on the wee taps. It's the sort of sample you can just really drop into one of your mixes with little to no processing. One sort of letdown for me is the metal hits section. There's not too much going on in here, just a small handful of anvil hits. It would have been great to get some metal sheets or piano string clanging for some of those industrial vibes. Other than a few of the Spitfire Labs products, this is the first library I've got from Spitfire that runs on its own player rather than on Contact. However, all of the settings and controls in this library are really natural. 2 minutes using this and you'll have a fairly firm grasp of the ins and outs, meaning that there's less distracting you from what's really important and the reason we're all here to make music. The controls are pretty simple. An expression control that feels more like an overall volume control really, with the velocity of each hit being the main differential for which sample is triggered. The dynamic slider, which acts as a dynamic range compressor, so the higher you have this slider, the higher the lowest playable velocity. So bringing this down, I have access to all of the really soft hits. You can control close mic, room and distortion levels, as well as a simple high pass and low pass filter and a reverb. Right-clicking on any of these parameters will allow you to select any MIDI control and automate the level, and then just as easily unassign that control at the click of your mouse. The knob, as Spitfire are calling it, feels a little bit redundant in this library, unless I may be missing the point. With all three assignable parameters just down here, it seems strange to be able to assign one of those to the knob, when you can just as easily control them from this section, and automate it with MIDI CC anyway. We all love the sound of the rooms that Spitfire record their libraries in, and this is no exception. Recorded in Air Studios London, home to the recordings of multiple film soundtracks like Casino Royale, Harry Potter, Interstellar, just to name a few. Having a great room sound in your library is very important, and this library has the added benefit of that distortion fader. Distorting a room mic signal is a great way to bring out lots of energy and resonance in drums. It's a technique more commonly employed in rock music, but that's not to say it won't fit in really well in epic orchestral music as well. Overall, it's definitely comparable to the Darwin Percussion Ensemble section of Albion 1. With Albion 1 you have a very similar level of customizability to the sound, but with a much larger selection of actual instruments. But really the core elements of the percussive section of Albion 1 are all here in this new originals library. If you do already have Albion 1, then I don't think it's worth purchasing this new library. But if you're desperately searching for a percussive library to flesh out your arsenal, then this is an absolute steal at only £29. If you have any questions about this library, just leave a comment below. My name is Andrew Johnston and I'm a composer and music producer from Edinburgh, Scotland. I've been lurking in the world of YouTube musicians for a while now and thought that this lockdown would be a good opportunity for me to start contributing to the community. I'm currently working on a little reorchestration project inspired by my composer friend Jack McKenzie Music. I'll leave a link to his videos in the description. I'll be arranging and reworking one of my favourite film scores of all time, and that is Chicken Run, composed by John Powell and Harry Gregson Williams. So if all goes to plan, that will be my next video and it will be uploaded very shortly.